good practice today. I like where we're at emotionally on a Tuesday. Now it's a long ways till Saturday, and we got a lot of work to do. But I feel a focus like I haven't felt this season, and this is a very focused football team. So I think that's a good sign. You know, I think that we realize that it's going to take probably an extra special effort going down to Texas and getting a win, and I think our guys are willing to do that. And I think they're trying. I think they're really starting to figure out what it takes on a daily basis for us to achieve our goals, and so that's encouraging as a coach. And like I said, I like where we're at emotionally, I like where we're at physically, and now we've just got to put together a great week of practice and go down and play our best.
In terms of focus, did having 2 close wins knock the team maybe back closer on track?
No, I think that it depends on how you look at it. I think that for us, you got to always be happy when you win, because that's the first objective. And we talked about this, but I don't think anyone was satisfied, you know. And I tried to tell them, look, let's at least enjoy it for 24 hours, and then we'll figure out, you know, what we got to do better, and we'll move on. And I've said this before, I don't want expectations to become a burden. But knocking us back on track, no. Maybe just, you know, refocusing a little bit, you know, getting back to the roots of who we are. You know, we're an underdog. That's who we are. We like it when people doubt us. That helps inspire us. I'm not saying that it should, but it does. And so I just feel like we're a focused team.
So was there a little bit of an element of that the team kind of didn't feel that they were underdogs over the last 2 weeks?
No, I don't know about that. I just think that we were tight. You know, I think that we let the outside expectations become a little bit of a burden to us. You know, and I said it after the first game that we were trying to be too perfect. And I still felt it a little bit during that second game, but then I started to feel it relieve itself a little bit. And I feel like we're back to where we need to be. So we'll see if I'm wrong or right.
How does all the media attention affect that? Like the drive and everything, is that?
Doesn't it? You know, the drive is a non-entity for us. I mean, the only time they've heard me say the drive is if they watch one of these press conferences, because we don't talk about it. No one's asked me a question about it. They aren't in our meetings. They're out at practice, but so is a bunch of other cameras, you know. So I bet our players couldn't even tell you which guys are with the drive and which guys aren't. It's a complete non-entity. And anybody that thinks it's a distraction or thinks that it's bothering us has absolutely no idea what the drive's all about. They are so unobtrusive. I thought it would be a lot more obtrusive than it is, and it's not at all. So.
What kind of challenges Texas defensive line pose for your offensive line?
Well, you know, Texas as a team is just very talented. I mean, this is a team filled with, you know, the best players in Texas, which is known as one of the best football states in the country. You know, that's a reputation they have. These are the guys that were the most coveted high school athletes out of that state. You know, they love to go to Texas. And you can see the ability on film. I mean, everywhere you look on that field, there's guys that are, you know, very highly regarded, very athletic, big, strong, physical, fast, all those things. So it's not just their defensive line, it's their team that, you know, poses a challenge.
Is there an update on Randall's status after his evaluation?
No, not yet.
Mossy Johnson didn't get in the game much. Is he possibly going to probably see more time?
I think that you will probably start to see a little bit more of 14. That's Mossy, and I think you might even see a little bit more of Jordan Lasley. You know, those guys are starting to figure it out. You know, they're starting to understand the speed of the game at this level, and they're playmakers that we'd like to get in the game. We've got to, you know, be judicious in how we play them, how much we play them, what we ask them to do, because they still can be overwhelmed a little bit. But, you know, Mossy is a guy that can do some things, and it's up to us to get him in there when we can. And I think you'll see us do that more, yeah.
Is that kind of the thing with Kenneth Walker III, too, that
yeah,
gave him a couple of plays and now he's got his feet wet?
He's got his feet wet, yeah, and he's on the scouting report now. When number 10 jogs out there, they might back up a little bit, you know, and maybe that opens some things up for him underneath. You know, we've been trying to get Kenny on the field for the last couple of years, and he's suffered some, you know, kind of some nagging injuries, the back and things like that. But I think right now, you know, he's a guy that Brett has a lot of confidence in. And as we continue to develop more weapons, it creates problems for the coaches, because how do you get the ball to all these guys? But it hopefully can create problems for our opponents as well.
Does the Texas defensive front compare at all to Virginia? I know they're both kind of known for that big kind of size.
I don't know. I mean, Virginia was months ago in my mind. It's I just think they're really good. Yeah.
Jordan Payton's had 2 good games in the first 2 weeks. Has he kind of shown that he's like a #1 receiver? Is he developing into that?
I don't think we ever just designate anyone as a #1 receiver. You know, we've got a bunch of really good players that can make plays. Jordan's had 2 good games. Devin Fuller had 9 catches. Thomas Duarte had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, you know, it's not necessarily a guy, it's a scheme. It's a coverage, it's a progression who gets the ball, but Jordan's certainly playing well.
How's Connor McDermott? How's his
He's
status?
coming along, and it's encouraging. Right now he's in a reserve role for us. The longer we can go without using him, the better for him, because he feels better every week, you know, and but he works hard during practice. He looks good during practice, and if we have to use him, I'm sure he'll be ready to go.
Watching Texas' offense, can you tell if they're struggling a little bit because of their inexperience on the offensive line?
No, I mean, you know, we don't really look at it that way. We look at scheme. You know, we look at what they're doing schematically and what we have to do defensively to try to defend them or attack them. And so that's kind of how we look at it. I don't really ever look at a team and go, oh, they're struggling. I mean, I look at it and say, okay, what problems do they pose, or what can we attack?
How much more have you guys played man coverage in the secondary than you have maybe in the past this year? Is it the same? Or?
No, I wouldn't have any idea right now. You know, we usually do a self-scout after about 3 weeks, but I can't tell you exact numbers. I don't know the exact numbers.